Good afternoon. We're excited about getting the 2016 season started, and feel humbled and honored to be a part of doing so on Monday Night Football in our nation's capital. It's a road game versus a division-winning opponent. We respect all elements of that, but just in general, we're excited about rolling our group out and starting this process of showing what we're capable of and meeting the challenges that are going to be presented to us week to week. Excited about the season in general, but our approach is one that's been consistent over the years. We'll have all eyes focused toward this opportunity. There's enough to get excited about when thinking solely about this opportunity. There's enough challenges within this opportunity. Before I get into talking about their people and stuff, I got a few state of the team things, particularly from an injury standpoint. It's been a number of days since we had an opportunity to visit. Bud Dupree has been placed on IR. He's capable of being designated to return. He's got a muscular core injury that he's been battling over the course of the last several weeks. These things sometimes get better with time, and sometimes you can manage them. Sometimes they require a surgical repair of some kind. He's being evaluated here in the next couple of days in terms of what route we're going to take. But by putting him on IR, potentially designated to return, we took the timetable off of it, and we just want to get him healthy. And hopefully he'll be back in uniform for us in 2016 and be the core contributor to our efforts that he is capable of being. So no real news there, but he's got a medical exam here coming up in the next couple of days that's going to determine what course of action we take in terms of dealing with his injury. The next group of guys have been dealing with injuries of some kind, of some description, and largely can be characterized as day-to-day. Rosie Nix with his back can be characterized as day-to-day. Daniel McCullers with his knee, it can be characterized as day-to-day. Shamarko Thomas with his groin, the same. Cody Wallace with his knee. Marcus Gilbert with his elbow. Cam Hayward with his ankle. And Marcus Wheaton with his shoulder. Many of these guys missed the last opportunity to play, but basically it was the nature of that opportunity. Had it been a regular season game, I'd imagine many of the people that I mentioned would have been available to us in some form or fashion. These guys are starting the process of working themselves toward availability this week. We got an extra day, so we'll utilize that extra day. Hopefully that extra day is beneficial to us and to them individually in terms of their preparation and their overall availability and readiness. But I feel optimistic about all of those guys and really don't have any other information about their availability other than day-to-day. We'll get back out tomorrow. Thursday will be the next day that we designate practice participation. So Thursday I'll let you guys know the progress of these guys from a day-to-day standpoint. A new one that could be included in that day-to-day is Hargrave, our rookie nose. He sustained a minor injury in practice yesterday. He wasn't able to finish. It's been evaluated. That evaluation told us that it's day-to-day. So I'll update you guys on his availability or potential availability on Thursday as well. Now let's talk about the Redskins and the challenges that they present. Like I mentioned earlier, got a lot of respect for these guys, not only in terms of their players and the quality of players that they have, but the coaching staff that they've assembled, familiar with those guys, Coach Gruden and company. Jay and I go way back. Obviously there's the relationship in that he was the offensive coordinator of the Bengals, but he and I were co-workers several years ago when we worked for his brother down in Tampa. I've known Jay for a long time, and he's a really good football coach. We expect them to have that group prepared. On offense, Kirk Cousins is a very efficient and talented quarterback. He doesn't make mistakes. He makes good and quick decisions. But on top of that, when you break down, he invariably gets you. Sometimes you can make a mistake and be out of place and live to fight another day. Not with this guy. He consistently exploits your mistakes. And that makes this first opportunity for us a challenging one. We can't have the type of mistakes that that potentially can occur at the early portions of seasons. We got to be sharp. We can't be out of place. We cannot be unsound in any way, because he consistently finds and exploits that, not only during his time in Washington, but his time in East Lansing as well. Very familiar with him. Have made it a practice over the years to be at the Michigan State Pro Day, and have gotten to know him over the years and got a great deal of respect for what he's capable of. He's got a nice complement of people to work with, and they all do kind of different things for him, and together it provides great balance. Jordan Reed, their tight end, is a great interior possession guy. He's got great rapport and timing with Cousins. Is highlighted big time on third down, but is highlighted just on any down. He works the interior of the field and is adept at doing it. He's a big matchup issue for safeties. He's an athleticism matchup issue for linebackers. We got to be smart and thoughtful about how we choose to cover him, and quite frankly, it's going to probably require a number of schematic approaches and personnel approaches to minimize his impact on the game. The outside equivalent of him is Pierre. Pierre has always been a high volume catch guy. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he's got a sturdy body for a receiver. He makes combat catches. He works the perimeter from a possession standpoint. And Deshaun Jackson obviously is one of the fastest, most dangerous, consistently dangerous deep threats since he's been in the league, since 2009. He's always been that. He's a guy that can change the football game in a blink of an eye and ring the scoreboard up. He's big play capable, whether it's just him running by you and them throwing them the ball over your head, or his ability to create chunks of yards after short passes. We got to minimize his chunk ability. In the interior, they got a young guy, the Duke Crowder, who's adept at working inside in the slot. He was at Duke. He is there now. I remember him a few years ago having a big game against our Panthers up here at Heinz Field. He's still very, very much that same guy. That group and in the passing and the passing game itself is complemented in a big way by the emergence of Matt Jones over the course of last year as a rookie performer, and now moving into a second year. He's a very deliberate runner. He's got a downhill running style. He's a punishing runner. He's probably 230 pounds or so. He's a one-cut type of a guy. Our charge will be a difficult one, but our charge will be to minimize his ability to fall forward. Too often he falls forward and it ends up 2nd and 4, 2nd and 6. That's the type of runner he is. He's capable of wearing a defense down over the course of the game, and so we got our hands full there. Up front is led by Trent Williams and company. He's one of the best in the business at left tackle, but they're talented all the way across the front. They got Moses at right tackle. They got Treff at guard, a former first rounder out of Iowa. They're a talented unit, and so we got a big time challenge defensively. We got to work to minimize the guys in terms of what they do best. We got to do a good job of situational football as always. We got to get off on third down. All of these discussions get a lot easier if we have a decent level of success on third down. But again, that's one of the reasons why they're defending division champs. They got a nice division of labor. They got a tight end and a quarterback that's got ridiculous rapport on possession downs, and if you do things to minimize him, he's got the same rapport with guys on the perimeter. So got our hands full there. On the defensive side of the ball, they got a talented group, some old, something new, some continuity, some new additions. They got Kerrigan at one outside linebacker spot from Purdue, savvy veteran, high motor guy, highly productive, has had a heck of a career. He'll be an issue for us because he's an issue every time he steps in the stadium. He's got that level of consistency in his play. He's complemented by a young guy that's kind of on the rise, and Preston Smith, opposite of him, a guy that's part defensive end, part outside linebacker, young talented guy that we got to be accountable for. They move him around a bunch. He's a rover in some of their odd stuff. They use him in a lot of ways, aside from the fact that he's a highly productive special teams player as well. So we got that element of it. At the linebacker level, They got a savvy guy for all situations in the middle, a guy that you might not know a lot about in Compton, number 51. But when you watch their tape, not only in preseason, but last year, he's a central part of what they do. He's a guy for all situations. He plays in all downs. He's the defensive quarterback, if you will. A lot of their calls and checks and things go through him. I don't know the man personally, but I imagine he's an extremely sharp football player. The tape tells us that. And in the secondary, they got some familiar faces, but particularly potentially in some new spaces. D'Angelo Hall has been a quality player for these guys since 2008, I think, when they acquired him from Oakland. Now he's playing some safety. His abilities as a safety provide big-time versatility for them. They don't have to match personnel if they don't want to. He's capable of covering your third wide out on 1st and 10 if they choose to stay in base. He's that type of talent. He's a rangy guy. His tackling has been great for a transition guy. He reminds me of a Charles Woodson type. You know, those are special guys that play a decade or a decade plus at corner and then move to safety. Sometimes we talk about it like it's not a significant transition, like anyone can do it. But if you just think about the people that have done it, the company that they keep, it's been a unique group of people, whether it's Rod Woodson or Charles Woodson. Now you can add D'Angelo Hall into that group of guys that had a career in itself outside the corner and is starting the process of producing a great career at safety. The acquisition this offseason of Josh Norman speaks for itself. He's one of the best in the business. I'd imagine that he's going to provide them some versatility from a coverage standpoint that'll allow them to focus on guys like Antonio and work to minimize him in a variety of ways because of an acquisition of a talent like Norman's. We respect him and the other guys, and for those reasons, we're excited about not only the opportunity, but more importantly, the preparation. We got an extra day this week. We're going to need it. We're going to use it. We're excited about laying a foundation for our work week this week, tomorrow, when the guys come into the building. I'll be happy to address any questions you might have.